Today we got a topic on the most recent Doge firing. It looks like this article is titled Trump Administration Musk's Doge Plan to Fire Nearly All CFPB, that is the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, staff and wind down agency employees say. So, Kirby, I was looking at some videos on this. Looks like this has hit the news, and they're talking about how this department was created after the financial crisis, and it protects people when they're getting loans. It helps, protect their information from being out there and protects them from fraud or getting screwed over by lenders, whether it be for a bank, whether it be for student loans. So everything that they're saying in the news about this department sounds like it's something good. But I couldn't find any reasons as to why Doge was firing them. So, my question to you is, since you've got a little bit more years on Earth than me, and you were around during the financial crisis investing, what do you know about this department? And is it one of those departments that started off good and then started to slack off, or is this just a complete waste of taxpayer dollars to ever have founded this agency?
Well, like you said, it was created after the GFC, and the reason why it was created after the GFC was because, of course, all those loans. Hell, I was one of them. That was getting heartbeat loans, and people working at McDonald's. Nothing wrong with working at McDonald's, but when you're making minimum wage of $9 an hour and you got four and five homes, they felt like there was no way for the customer to protect themselves, and banks allowed it. And I'm not going to sit here and lie and say I want to try to articulate this correct because I don't want to play the victim here. But I'm not going to sit here and lie and say once I was in the home and then I seen how much it cost per month, especially after property taxes readjusted and escrow readjusted, that I knew I couldn't afford the home. Hell, I didn't even have a job and I had the home. And then I sit there for a long time blaming, why did the bank let me get this? And I still remember the bank who underwrote the loan, Bank of America. It's funny, Bank of America put me in the worst real estate deal, and they, they gave me the best real estate deal I ever did, also. So anyway, but I sit there and I blamed it, and I sit there and like, why did they let me do it? Why did they let me do it? But then after doing some soul searching, and start looking at the whole scope of it. Why wasn't I more knowledgeable?
Hmm.
I was the one that was taking out the loan. I was the one that was providing the documentation to telling the bank, yeah, you can trust me, I'll pay you back. I was the one that was giving financial statements because I wanted a house. Bank of America didn't come to me and say, hey, we got a house for you. I went to them to ask for a loan. But in a society, the government, no matter what side of the aisle, they figure, hey, it's better just to find ways to protect people. So we'll put more people in government to protect people. But then you look up and then you still seeing people still getting nefarious loans. You still people getting subprime loans and things, what have you. So really, is this organization really needed? If subprime loans are still going out, even after the GFC, subprime loans are still going out. And I'm not just talking about on homes or anything like that. But you got car loans, you got these payday lenders that's charging 50 and 60% interest. When is this government agency going to step up and protect the customer? But again, I don't put the onus on other people to protect my life. I put the onus on me to protect my life, and I put the onus on everybody else. You should know what you're doing through the whole process before you just depending on somebody else to do right by you. So is the organization needed? I ain't gonna say the jury's still out because it looked like they're about to fire everybody, but I don't think that they brought the value that they was supposed to bring or what the customers wanted from them. Even after the great financial crisis for loans you see people having now. I mean, hell, people got car payments that's 1,200 to 1,300 dollars a month, and they damn sure ain't got a job to cover it. So where's the consumer protection? The real onus is on the people to stop asking for stuff that they can't afford and know what they can and can't afford and stop depending on some government agency blocking them. Because I guarantee you, if the government agency said no, you can't write them that loan, the first thing the person gonna say, "Oh man, the government hating on me, man. They don't want me to succeed. The man keeping me down." They want the money more than these institutions willing to give it to them. But Alex, what's your thoughts on that?
That's kind of what I wanted to see or get from your perspective too, because like the news sources that I was watching, because like I mentioned, I was watching a few videos on this as well. It was all biased news sources, so like news sources that were anti-Trump, anti-Elon Musk. So I couldn't get any like concrete information as to like what the uh, what this bureau is actually doing. And I kind of figured it was something along those lines, the value just isn't there. And as we know with the Doge administration, like they're trying to just get rid of wasteful spending. So if there's no value in spending for this department, then why continue to have it? I mean, it seems like the direction of Doge is almost like libertarian in the sense that like I don't want to say anti-government, but they're more so like allowing the people to make their decisions and not have so many regulations and restrictions on certain things imposed by the government. So it's definitely interesting. I mean, I know it's going to spark a lot more hate because they're firing 1,700 people. But if it is wasteful spending, then yeah, why not get rid of it?
Yeah, and the real crux of it is this is like you said, is libertarian. Let's go with that. It's libertarian. I don't believe that the Republican Party, the conservatives care about no government. They care about smaller government. Are we the land of the free or the land of regulation? Are people able to make their own decisions or not? That's what it comes down to. I mean, everything, and I always tell people, they always say we live in the land of the free. I said, the only thing is free in this country is your ability to open your eyes. As soon as you step outside, it's a rule and regulation to it. It's a rule and regulation on Alex right now, your subdivision in your community. It's a rule and regulation on how a house that you know, it's yours. You bought the house. You're a homeowner. There's rules and regulations on how you have to upkeep your house. There's rules and regulations on the paint that you got to have, what color tile you got to have, what kind of roofs you got to have. It has all of that. It's rules on everything. I can't count a time that I walk out the house now and it's not a cost to it. I mean, you get in your car instead of just paying for gas. Now you got to pay for taxes on top of gas. It's a regular. Oh, the EPA say you got to have this. This is how many octane is coming out of it. It's rules and regulations on everything. So are we free or are we not? Are you free to do anything
Mhm.
or are you not? That's the real question. Why are we paying all of these entities and things to regulate us? We supposed to be paying to better the environment that we're around, but we're just paying tax dollars for people to tell us what we can't do. And sometimes the onus is just on people to make smart decisions, make informed decisions. But the thing is, people don't want to spend the time to be informed, but they want somebody to tell them what to do. And we see that in every walk of life. Like Alex, when I tell you when we talk about real estate, and you tell me what a banker say, or you tell me what a real estate agent say, I always say you need to know that for yourself. You should the banker or a real estate agent shouldn't be telling you the next step in the process. You should know the next step in the process.
Mhm. Yep.
Because if you don't sit there, if you sit there and depend on people that they have a title to hold you accountable for what you need to do, and you can't hold yourself accountable, then you shouldn't even be in this framework. You shouldn't even be doing the task. And that's the problem with bloated government and things like that. I'd rather spend my tax dollars on making the community safer. Spend my tax dollars on beautifying the parks and stuff like that. Me, I pay more state taxes than local taxes than the law should allow. But I see the impact of the tax dollars that I spend. When I send it to the federal government, I don't see nothing. Only thing it's telling me what else I can do. Only thing it's telling me now that if a family member send me over $600 that they probably owe me money anyway, now I gotta go report it and pay taxes on money that somebody borrowed from me. So what the hell are we really doing? We paying to get policed? Where did that make sense? So that's my view on that.
Yeah, that's the thing, especially like your last comment. Like that's one thing I'm hearing too is like, oh, but these tax dollars go to funding the police and I just feel like that's just an excuse. I mean, there's tax dollars for almost everything, like you mentioned, almost everything. And it's It's kind of funny because just the other night I had filed an annual report for one of my LLCs, and I'd never done an annual report myself. That was the most. Have you filed one, Kirby? Yeah, it's just literally like, hey, confirm your information's correct. Okay, now pay us. Like that's it. I mean, the government just wants to charge you for anything and everything. It's so ridiculous. And I think that's just the direction that this administration is taking is, just get rid of, just cut all of the cut spending, and if you cut spending, the government will depend on less revenue because now you're not having all these bills that the government has that they have to pay for or whatever. So I think that's all they're trying to do is make the government more financially efficient, and it's going to come along with people losing their jobs, but question, what are those people doing? What are these government roles there for if they're not fulfilling their task, if they're not doing what that department was created to do? So I'm not opposed to all these spending cuts and such. I think that it's going in the right direction. We mentioned on another video, why would you not want a billionaire in charge of, cutting spending and stuff?
The key word that a lot of people don't understand is efficiency. This organization right here, 1,700 people, and there's still subprime loans going out the window. They're not being stopped. People are calling this company to try to get protection against predatory lenders and things like that. It's a lot still slipping through the cracks, and they're not getting protection. You go to the Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare, all these different organizations within the government, they're not working efficient, and people complaining. Like, just go on the Reddit boards or go on some of these message boards out here just talking about different parts of the government. I'm talking about before Doge came, they complained about how it's inefficient, how they do this thing, how they mess up this. So if you bloating the government and having thousands to millions of employees and the government is still not running efficient, it cannot be, oh, just let's just keep adding more people, that'll fix the problem. The government was inefficient in the 90s when it was less people. Now in the 2000s, they got more and they still inefficient. Now we're in 2010, they got more, they're still inefficient. Now we're in the 2020s, they got more people and it's still inefficient. The goal cannot be just keep adding more people, adding more people. And then, of course, you add more people, they're getting pay raises every year, so you need more tax dollars to pay for them, you need more money to borrow, and they're still inefficient. So why don't we narrow the number and get more bang for our buck to do what we need to do? I mean, I think Kevin O'Leary said it best on CNN. When companies buy another company, or when I bought a company, the first thing I do is go see where the inefficiencies at, how to trim the fat, how to get less dollars going out. That was the first thing I did. Was they had a crazy website and all this stuff that they paying hundreds and thousands of dollars to a month just to keep this thing running. We don't need all that. How about we X that part out? I set up a website that costs me about $300 to $500 a year, not $300 to $500 a month. It still has all the functionality and does everything the company needs to for it to be done. When it comes to employees, if the employees are not performing, why are we just holding them on our books just to say, oh well, yeah, I'm making sure you keep your job, but you're not a performing, you're the least performing person in this company, and then the best performing person in the company ain't getting that much large of a pay increase in you. So why not just eliminate you and just have a less amount of people still getting the job done, and then I can give the high performers pay raise? That's what companies do. And contrary to popular belief, people don't want to believe it, but the United States is a company. That's what it is. We just got a whole bunch of different branches attached to it. So when you come in as the new CEO, that's what the President Trump is now, the new CEO. You have to trim the fat to get the company operating optimally. If that don't happen, we got a graveyard full of companies out there where CEOs just messed up the company. They bloated, added stuff, paid for stuff. I mean, look at Yahoo. I mean, Yahoo had some opportunities to buy Google, but they didn't buy Google for $1 billion, but they paid $6 billion for a streaming service that they never used from Mark Cuban. That's why Yahoo is where it's at now. It's in the way of AOL. You know what I mean? They had the opportunity, but bad CEO management lead to bad outcomes. And if United States was a company and we had to give it, the annual report and things like that, the stock will be close to zero. It'll be a penny stock the way it operates. It'll be a penny stock. It wouldn't be the Nvidias of the world, I'll tell you that. It will be a straight penny stock. They borrow more than they take in. The interest payment, the tax revenue that they bring in, or the revenue the company brings in, a third of it just goes to interest payments. They're not even tackling the debt itself. They All the money that they use to invest or pay the dividend is all borrowed money. And Alex, that's the first thing I look at when I look at a dividend stock. Is the money getting paid off of profits or the money getting paid from borrowed money? And everything the United States do is off borrowed money. So if it's a company, it get a letter F from financial relevancy. So that's what it is. So people study business, then you'll understand what America is and what you're supposed to do. Go look at the corporate raiders back in the 80s and 90s when they took over companies. What did they do? When Warren Buffett buy a company, he don't just buy the company and be like, okay, we're just gonna let it go like it is. Warren Buffett, he's the nicest man on earth, according to people, but he is savage just like everybody else in the business world. So people need to understand what they live in and what this is, and stop thinking that this is an old kumbaya moment. Oh, just give everybody jobs, no matter if they're working or not. Just keep on paying them. Yeah, right. That don't work nowhere. And anybody else that own a business, they wouldn't do it. So why the hell should they expect the government to do it?
Right. That said, guys, if you have any questions or comments, let us know what you think. We'll leave the article in the description. Don't forget to like this video, share, send us more content, subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next one.